Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Faith. I'm an HR professional and event host based in Toronto, Canada. If this is your first time of seeing this face, please use the subscribe button, yes, that red one below, and also click on the notification bell so when I post a new video, you will hurry down and watch. You know, when I'm smiling like this, it means that there's something brewing. Something's happening on this set. Anyway, we are welcome to another Guest Who series. I'm not alone. I have an amazing guest with me. Her name is Bolawa. I'm going to leave her to introduce herself because, like I always say, nobody can introduce themselves better than you would. So Bolawa, take it away.
Hi Faith, thank you for having me.
Oh, sure.
My name is Bolawa. I am, first of all, a wife, a mother of two beautiful children.
Please, she's not single, okay? I know you're looking at her face and she's beautiful, but please, continue. Thank you.
Yes, I'm a mom of two. I'm based in the York region in Ontario, and I'm a real estate agent. I've been an award-winning realtor.
Please, can you say that again? We need to make sure can you say that to the camera?
I am an award-winning realtor with
you.
Right at Home Realty. I've been a realtor for a little over 2 years now, and I work mostly in the GTA area and Hamilton, Kitchener, Waterloo region as well.
Perfect. Yeah, so you can see she's really, anyway, let me not dwell on that. So guys, we're just going to dive right into it. We're going to be talking about, renting a home in Canada, because we see that, look, accommodation is such a big deal. And for all of you that are relocating to Canada, whether you're coming as a student, coming in with your family, coming alone, whatever be the case, you definitely need to get a place to stay. So that's why Bolawa and I, well, more of her, because I don't know anything about accommodation. So Bolawa is here to help you and guide you through the process. She's a realtor, so definitely we're going to be talking about her business, her, professional services towards the end of the video. So make sure you stick around for that. So I think, just to kick it off, right, why don't we start by talking about some of the accommodation options that are available to people who are coming into Canada.
Okay, so generally, we have not a lot of options. There's the basement, which is like the lower apartments in a house. Some are legal, some are not. We have condos, those are the high-rise buildings. And then there are apartments. I usually don't deal in apartments because apartments have like leasing offices for themselves. They're usually older buildings, also mid-rise buildings. And then there are townhouses. We have detached homes and semi-detached homes as well.
Yes, sorry, what's the difference between that detached and semi? Because even I don't know. I think someone asked me one time, I was like, look, don't ask me, I don't know.
So detached have their own lots.
Okay.
So basically, when you're buying detached, you have ownership of the land itself. Of course, when you buy anything, you own the land, but at least, you can do mostly anything that is allowed on the detached lots. Semi-detached is you and another house are like conjoined into a lot, into a plot of land. You're partially attached
to each other. Okay, perfect. So just in terms of, we're in Ontario here, like what, just in terms of the average cost of rents, like some of these homes you mentioned, maybe not all, but, just a few, like if I'm looking for maybe a one-bedroom condo, like what is the average cost I should be looking at in the GTA or outside the GTA, those sort of things?
Okay, so I'll start from the cheapest option.
Yeah.
The cheapest options are the basements. They usually range from about 1,500 and upwards for a one-bedroom.
Okay.
So one-bedroom basement can be like even 1.4, depending on how nice it is, how spacious it is. It can be from 1,400 like 1.6, 1.7, and two-bedroom basements are usually the averagely nice ones are usually around 1,800. Now, one-bedroom condos around GTA, the average price is about 2,200 for a one-bedroom condo.
Okay.
While two bedrooms go from about 2,600 up until 3,200, 3,500, depending on the square footage, what's included, the location, and all of that.
Right.
While three bedrooms are typically from 3,000 and above. And the average price for three-bedroom townhouses are also around 3,000 and above.
Wow. Okay, so please try and get your money ready. We're talking about Canadian dollars.
Yes.
It's not it's not naira, it's not cedis, it's Canadian dollars, okay? Okay, so let's go into what do they need to look out for when they are, renting homes, when you're choosing a place, and then maybe we'll just tie into the documentation that is needed, because I hear people always say, oh, the landlord is asking for this, asking for that. Like, what are the things that they need to look out for so they can start preparing their minds as they look out to rent?
New immigrants, they have to consider if they already have a job, or if they think, okay, maybe they might get a job around this city, then it's important to get accommodation around. I would always recommend, if you're coming to Ontario, I would recommend the GTA. People also live in Hamilton or in Kitchener. Anywhere where you can have easy access to the GO or the TTC train. So in case you have employment in downtown Toronto or in Mississauga, for instance, it will be easy for you to commute.
Right.
In terms of the documents, yes, I know I went through it myself. When we arrived Canada, we were being asked for pay stubs, employment, and everything. What I usually do with my clients is I advise them to provide any documents that they may have, even if it's international, from back home, or some will move from the US or Nigeria or anywhere in the world. Just to show that you've been employed, So, in summary, you need government-issued IDs.
Okay.
So, usually in this case, it will be international passports for new immigrants, and for people who already live here, it can be their driver's license. Employment letter, pay stubs, the recent one, full Equifax credit report.
Okay.
Now, in the case of new immigrants, we usually don't have this, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard this, where landlords are asking for a lot of deposits upfront and everything. In the case where newcomers don't have all of these documents, we've had landlords, so this is dependent on the owner of the property.
Right.
Most landlords, they would prefer tenants who have all these documentations, who have worked in Canada, they have more peace of mind. But in the case where newcomers are coming, they don't have credits to show, we usually offer, if the tenant has the resources, we would offer additional months upfront as a deposit to, build trust, to build confidence with the landlord. Now, it is illegal for landlords to ask, to demand this. But if you do not have what they are requesting, then, we usually just say, okay, we would be paying first and last 4 months, for instance, just to show that, okay, we can afford, and to put the landlord's, mind at ease.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So obviously with what you've said now, if I'm just coming into the country, like, would you advise me to use a realtor, or should I do it myself? Like, what are the advantages either way, or what are the risks either way? So, yeah.
Right. So I'll talk about working with a realtor first of all. If you're working with a realtor, you have access to more database of what's available on the market at that time. We have the multiple listing service, that's our MLS, where realtors posts, it's like our database of what's on the market, what are sold, and everything. So working with a realtor will afford you that.
Right.
And then a realtor will also be able to advise you on like the area, if there's like violence in this area, and especially with families with children, you may want to avoid certain neighborhoods that may not be safe. So a realtor would have more local knowledge as to where, you should rent. Now, earlier I spoke about additional deposits and landlords being picky or having their own requirements. It's not really being picky. It's just they have their requirements of how the ideal tenants that they want.
Of course.
Now, working directly with landlords, you can find accommodation on Kijiji, for instance, or Facebook Marketplace. What I find is those landlords who post their accommodation on these platforms are usually more understanding to new immigrants. So they usually would list their home to new immigrants with or without additional deposit.
Right.
Now, we have to be very careful of people who are looking to take advantage of newcomers. So when I have some clients, for instance, and they are, acquaintance, and they are working directly with the landlord, I would ask them sometimes to send me their address, address, so that I can actually verify that the person they are working with, the person they are talking to, is the owner of the property. So people need to be wary of scammers who are asking them to pay on MoneyGram or any of these platforms, and make sure they see the property before and sign paperwork before they exchange any value.
Guys, you've heard it. Don't go and don't go and enter one chance. So don't give your money to a scammer. The person will tell you that there's a house available. Meanwhile, there's nothing there. You go there after you finish paying money. You go there and you see empty land. Anyway, so I think for me, I think I would prefer to work with a realtor just to save myself the headache. I mean, that's what I think. So, i.e., you need to work with Bolawa if you are coming to Ontario, okay?
Yeah, and I have to add, Faith,
yes,
that when you're working with a realtor to list a home, in Ontario, the landlords would cover the services of the realtor, which is usually half of 1 month rent that will be paid to the realtor for their service. So, realtor services is at no cost to you when you're renting.
I mean, like, what else do we need? So please make sure you use a realtor. I think it will save you a lot of stress. That's the bottom line of this. So now let's talk about, like in terms of the agreements, between the landlord and the tenant. Like, what are things that people should look out for in those sort of situations?
Okay. Usually, the term, the date, the lease start date, the lease end date. Now, in Ontario, once the 1 year lease term is over, tenants automatically become a month-to-month tenant. Month-to-month meaning that you don't have to really sign another 1 year lease. If your landlord is asking, you may decline nicely not to sign for another full year. And most of all the agreements are usually standard. There's the key deposits can range from $100 to $500, depending on the landlord. There is also, no smoking in the house. Usually the homes are smoking is not allowed.
So I've had situations where someone said, their landlord just increased their rent.
Okay.
Please, tell us. Tell us, save us, because I don't know. Are landlords supposed to just increase your rent anyhow? Because some people don't know this, so it's better we tell them, right? So please, take it away.
Right, okay, so again, in Ontario, tenants have a lot of rights. The landlord and tenant board usually has more favorable laws towards the tenants.
Right.
One of them is that landlords are not able to, there are guidelines to how rents can be increased. So if the property is built before 2018, then they have to abide by the 2.5%. So yes, your landlord can only increase your rent by 2.5%.
Okay.
For newer properties that are built from 2018 up until now, they are generally not covered under these guidelines, and that is when the landlord can decide to increase their rent by, $200 or $500. In this case, I would just recommend that you have a conversation with the landlord. So just to add, landlords cannot just evict tenants, you know, although in the agreement it says that landlord can give 60 days notice to their tenants if, for instance, they want to use the accommodation, or if they want, you know, they want to sell and all. But please note that even with the 60 days notice, the landlord cannot just evict you without, you know, a tangible reason. If they are selling their home, you don't have to move. You know, the new owner can acquire you and the property with, you know,
with you being a tenant,
you know, and then you will transfer your tenancy to the new owners. And your landlord cannot evict you because they're trying to increase rent. It's not allowed. Only the landlord and tenant board. You know, eventually it goes to like landlord and tenant board to evict, and then the landlord and tenant board will really evaluate the landlord's reason for wanting to evict you. If they find a good enough reason, then yes, maybe they would rule in the landlord's favor. But if it's not a good enough reason, then you do not have to move. So please do not panic if your landlord is trying to increase your rent. I always recommend talking to a realtor. There are also Facebook groups. Maybe you can share some links. There are Facebook groups where, you know, there are support for like tenants and, you know, just a way to learn more about your rights as a tenant.
Because I was gonna ask that. Okay, so if I'm a tenant now and I'm in this sort of situation, who do I who do I call, or who do I run to? I mean, so I think we'll just put some of those Facebook groups in there. So guys, please check out the links in the description box. We'll put some of them there. So that when you have problem in this life,
there's a nice support.
There's a nice support, okay? You're not alone, all right? And don't feel, I mean, I don't think any landlord would want to bully you, but just in case you find yourself in that kind of situation, at least you know what to do. Okay, so, I mean, I think we've kind of touched on a lot. So I think I'll just say, you know, if there's any general last advice that you would give people coming in, which you probably have touched on already, but hey, you know, if there's anything that comes to mind, please.
So I would say that, you know, moving to a new country can be extremely overwhelming. I have been there. I moved here when my baby was 5 months old, and it was the thick of winter, so I can totally relate. So please, you know, take it easy. You eventually settle down and it will be well. Secondly, please reach out to a realtor, at least, you know, to also get some advice. I'm here, you know, my contact details will be shared, so you can, you know, have a better understanding of even the cities, how you can commute and everything. And another thing is beware of scammers, like we've said. Fraudulent people are out there. They know of the housing shortage that we have here in Ontario, and they're trying to take advantage of it and advantage of new immigrants as well. So please, you know, do not give your money to anyone. Another major thing to note is that please read and understand every paperwork that you'll be signing. Read and understand it. If you don't understand it, please ask questions before you put pen on paper here. And also, I would advise that you should work with one realtor. The way the real estate business is set up in Ontario, just to avoid, you know, issues with realtors, is that, you know, find one realtor that you trust, that you know would, you know, provide the kind of service that you require. And sign an exclusive agreement with them. If the relationship is no longer working out for you, you can ask to be released from the agreement, you know, and just make sure in everything your dealings are fair and straightforward, just to avoid, you know, problems with realtors and brokerages and things like that.
Okay, guys, the award-winning realtor has spoken. Please, let's drop your, I mean, we're going to put her handles and everything in the description box, but, you know, I always like them to still say it, just in case, and maybe someone that is watching, maybe you can't read, I'm just saying, so it's easier for you to just hear it. So, on Instagram, how can they follow you? What's your contact, email, all of that? We'll have them in the description box, but please, take that away.
So my Instagram is at Realtor Bolawa, very easy. I'm basically Realtor Bolawa on Facebook, on Instagram. Please do follow me on Instagram. I share, content about everything real estate and all.
Okay. So guys, please, if you are in Ontario or you know anybody who is in Ontario and they just use a realtor. That's all we're saying here. Save yourself the headache. Look, like she said, it's at no cost to you, so what's the problem really? I mean, who doesn't like free things in his life? I don't know about you, but me, I don't like stress. So please guys, try to use Bolawa, and I just want to say thank you for being here. I think we would definitely have to record another video, because definitely we need to talk about the real estate market and what's out there, because some people are looking to buy homes. So I think that will probably be our next video. So guys, please stay tuned for that. Show some love to Bolawa by hitting the like button. Also share this video. It's very important. Okay, do not be stingy with this information, because she has said a lot of things that frankly I do not know. So we go, and I've been here for how many years? So someone that is just coming will probably not have this information as well. So please guys, share this video. Also subscribe to my channel at Small Talk with Faith. I'm going to be coming out with more videos. There'll definitely be another video with Bolawa. I don't know when we would upload that, but just stay tuned for that one as well. Like button. So yeah, any final words? I just want to say your goodbyes to them.
Thank you for having me, Faith.
Thank you.
I'm wishing everyone the best. Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, we did not plan it. I know I'm wearing green, she's wearing red, and you see Christmas tree behind us. Just so that we did not plan, it's just mere coincidence, okay? But we're still in the Christmas mood up in here, so please suck it all in as well. All right, I will see you on my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.